Hello viewers, my name is Zach Hardy, and this is another video by Unitards. And before I get into it, let me put you or point you in the direction of the toolbar below. Before, it usually said Unitards SM at the Zach Hardy, but now we have officially created let me rephrase that. We have made an official Unitards Twitter account, and the handle is down below at UNITARDZZ. There you will find behind the scenes pictures and videos of me and a bunch of the other Unitards employees. I just posted a picture with Lee August not a couple hours ago, and yeah, so that will be the handle that you go to for Unitards on Instagram. Now, with that being said, we get into the video, and the topic at hand is one that many wrestling fans, especially fans who were either used to be fans of TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, or currently are Total Nonstop Action Wrestling fans. This is news that wrestling fans all over the world, especially wrestling fans that are hindered on TNA, have been wishing for a long time. Dixie Carter officially resigned as chairman of TNA Wrestling or Impact Wrestling earlier today after it was bought out by Anthem Sports. So Anthem Sports is now the new parent company to Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. And if you don't understand too much about TNA, or maybe you're one of my high school pals who are watching the video and you don't understand what I'm talking about, or you're just not familiar with TNA, let me walk you through a brief run of history. So TNA was a wrestling promotion that was, or is a wrestling promotion that was created in 2002, and upon finding success after weekly pay-per-views that were absolutely free, they were just television specials, they started having their own weekly show called TNA Impact. That was their weekly show. It was just like Monday Night Raw and Friday night, or SmackDown, whatever night SmackDown is with the WWE. And back then, Jeff Jarrett was the president and owner of TNA. He was also in command of the booking. TNA, for, a good 5 or 6 years, was treated as an alternative to the WWE, the land of opportunity for guys who couldn't cut it in the WWE and needed another outlet to perform their craft. And I believe it was somewhere around 2011, 2012, where Jeff Jarrett resigned his position as president and Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. He retained his stock in the company, but he resigned from his position in the company. This led to a seat in the booking and head hierarchy of TNA Open, in which case Dixie Carter ended up going in and taking over booking and taking over the president position, I believe, as well as the chairman position. And from then, TNA was not looked at as an alternative to the WWE, but a lackluster WWE. She would book the same thing she saw that the WWE was doing. She changed it up very little and then put it out on her own show. So she was like, hey, they did this, we can do this. There's a performer called Abyss in TNA, and when he debuted, he looked just like a copy of Kane in the WWE and kind of Mankind in the WWF. So they kind of they made their own monster. They had Eric Young win the World Championship right after Daniel Bryan won the WWE World Championship. They had the Beatdown Club as their authority figures, while the WWE had the Authority with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. So TNA started copying the WWE, but changed it up just a little, to make it look a little bit more signature to TNA. And since then, they've been losing fans. They've been losing any subscriptions they've had. They've been losing revenue. They lost their cable television, or they lost their network slot with Spike TV. They ended up going to Destination America for a year, and then they went to Pop TV. They rebranded the company so many times. It went from Total Nonstop Action Wrestling to Impact Wrestling. They changed their television from TNA Impact to Impact Wrestling. They've gone through several screen changes. They've gone through several production changes. They've gone through several booking direction changes. And overall, TNA has been looked at as the laughingstock of professional wrestling, with every wrestling fan looking at that company predicting. Sorry, I don't know, sinuses, whatever. Um, and they've been predicting when the company would die, when the company would go under. Now, obviously, the company had a resurgence with the help of the broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero segments, which were obviously Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy segments. And they gained popularity, and they ended up focusing the direction on those guys because they ended up bringing a lot of revenue and a lot of guys and gals and wrestling fans alike to TNA to see what the fuck was going on. It got even people who weren't initially familiar with TNA to watch because obviously Jeff and Matt Hardy were in the WWE and now they had this whole crazy storyline and they want to see how things develop. Obviously, they had the great thing. They tried something new. They went in a new direction instead of copying WWE. They had the Final Deletion. They had the Great War. They had what was it? The tag team Apocalypto, and now they're trying something else. It's awkward. It's weird, but they've gone and they've changed the way they've done things. But still, people were calling for Dixie Carter's head. Everybody, especially people who were familiar with TNA wrestling, were calling for Dixie Carter to resign. She was hurting the company way more than she was helping it. So the news comes today that Anthem Sports has bought out TNA, and it is now the parent company to Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. And Dixie Carter will remain a member of TNA, I believe, under the board in Anthem Sports, but she has officially resigned her position as chairman of TNA Wrestling. I'm not sure if she's resigned as president of TNA Wrestling. She still holds a minority stock in the company, but right now she is now no longer involved in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, which opens up a lot of opportunity to find amazingly talented bookers and everything to help make that product something great again. I miss the days where Total Nonstop Action Wrestling had their monthly pay-per-views, and it was flourishing. It had legitimate storylines. AJ Styles was, I mean, everybody knew he was kind of like the face of TNA, but he wasn't treated as it. I remember watching Against All Odds. I remember watching some Bound for Glory pay-per-views. I remember watching a lot of, even like the B show pay-per-views for TNA, Against All Odds. I guess Victory Road would count as one. No Surrender. Hardcore Justice, which used to be Hard Justice. It was just awesome to see pay-per-views from a company that wasn't the WWE, because obviously back then USW wasn't around. USW wasn't around until 2013, so I didn't see wrestling promotion holding monthly pay-per-views. Because I worked for them at the time. They had a pay-per-view once every like 2 or 3 months, but it was never a monthly thing. So it was a breath of fresh air to see some pay-per-views held monthly other than the WWE. And TNA was really flourishing. That got swept under when Dixie Carter got involved, and kind of when Jeff Jarrett was involved as well, because he kind of started lacking off on that booking aspect. But this news comes as big for TNA wrestling fans, and especially professional wrestling fans, because TNA now has an opportunity to get new bookers, to get new producers, and try to make that show as great as physically possible. There's no longer a Vince McMahon aspect in the booking where it's literally, this is what's going to happen and you have no say over it. I make the final say and it's what I want. Damn it. Anyway, this, I've always pulled for TNA. I had a feeling they were going under since 2014. Not gonna lie, since 2014, I haven't really had any hope for the company. When Matt and Jeff Hardy started getting popular, I kind of started thinking this can only go so far before it starts getting old, where it's not funny anymore, it's not interesting, it's just boring. But honestly, after looking over the past couple of months with TNA Wrestling, seeing that guys like Eddie Edwards and Ethan Carter III, you can shut up. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Shut the fuck up! Never mind. Um, so seeing guys like Eddie Edwards and Ethan Carter III, Matt Hardy, and all these guys holding Drew Galloway holding the TNA World Championship makes me hopeful for TNA again. Because I don't care how many WWE fans or NXT fans or indie fans say NXT is um, the land of opportunity. In my opinion, total nonstop action wrestling is the land of opportunity. You have guys like Eddie Edwards, who is what, five? No, but what, 6 feet or 6 foot tall, 6 feet tall at the most. You're what, 195 pounds, holding the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And obviously, you have those big, strong, built-up guys like Ethan Carter III and Bobby Lashley holding it. But you also have talented, legitimate, bona fide wrestlers who are good at what they do and don't have that bodybuilder physique like Drew Galloway and Matt Hardy holding the TNA World Championship. It's a breath of fresh air. It's different. And I've kind of liked what TNA has been doing over the past couple of months. I'm not going to lie. I've loved the broken Matt Hardy angle. I've loved the Brother Nero shit. I've loved all of this whole fucking tag team apocalypto and final deletion and great war bullshit. My favorite was the fucking great war with Decay and the broken Hardys fighting in the fucking Hardy compound. Fucking Abyss using a boat as a shield to fireworks being launched at him. Freaking what was it? Did anybody go into the lake of reincarnation? I mean, it's insane. They have fucking Vanguard 1. They've introduced a fucking drone, Vanguard 1, as a legitimate threat when it comes to anybody invading the Hardy compound. Senor Benjamin, their gardener, is one of the guys responsible for taking down anybody that walks in the Hardy compound. They have a fucking lake that fucking heals people like a fucking health pack in a video game. The Lake of Reincarnation. They have a fucking boat with a brain. It's insane, but I love it. It's absolutely different, and it's crazy. And these guys have changed the way professional wrestling has been. They've changed professional wrestling, period. And Matt Hardy is the reason for it. And I've loved the Hardys shit, and I loved TNA and what they've been doing, and even their side projects with Ethan Carter III and Bobby Lashley at Bound for Glory. You had Eddie Edwards as a champion. Drew Galloway was getting involved. I loved Aaron Rex being the Impact Grand Champion. Moose's involvement when he went against Mike Bennett. It's been a breath of fresh air. It's been different, and it's been interesting. I mean, if they can rebuild the X Division and make that watchable again, or make that like something worth seeing again, other than the United States Championship opening a WWE pay-per-view, hell, they are set. This entire past couple, like 4 or 5 months for TNA has been incredible. They've been getting more viewership. They've been getting a lot more notoriety, and I think Dixie Carter's resignation is going to help them find bookers that actually care about the product and actually care about making TNA and Impact Wrestling watchable and entertaining and promising again. Because you look at NXT, but all these guys at some point go to the main roster and get fucking shoved into absolute obscurity and irrelevancy, and they become obsolete, and their whole hopes of being main event talent on the main card is deleted. So it's insane seeing how NXT talent gets treated on the main roster when it comes down to TNA's talent on their main roster is promising and fruitful, and it's interesting. So I think this will help TNA be molded into something watchable again. And honestly, this gives me newfound hope for the company. I think TNA is going to survive. I honestly do. If they keep up, the angles kind of like Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, where it's interesting and it's different and it's entertaining and worth watching, and you're not copying the WWE, you're making original storylines. I mean, I think you're set. I think TNA is just incredible right now, and this is the first time I think it's been amazing since 2011, 2012. So it's interesting, and I'm loving where it's going right now. And I think TNA is going to survive. Obviously, honestly, this gives me hope. So I'm no longer in that boat of, oh yeah, TNA is gonna die. It's a matter of when, not if. I think it's a matter of, well, they keep this up, and I think they're gonna be fruitful as fuck for the next couple of years. It's gonna be, I'm loving it right now. This is awesome, and man, I bet Spike TV was like, we let this one angle go. This could have gotten some really good ratings. So yeah, Pop TV is Pop TV is drawing in 2 million viewers every week or so, or I think that's what it was at the beginning of the Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero angle. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. It was kind of a short video with a lot of reactions in the form of breaking news. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I'm Zach Hardy, signing off.